When it comes to your general health, your dietary choices play a very significant role because they influence your dietary intake, and it is known gospel that what you eat actually influences your nutrition, health, and actually general well-being. My name is Mumina. I am a registered dietitian, and in today's video, we're going to talk about things that actually influence your dietary choices. You want to stick around because at the end of this video, I would have given us tips to actually ensure that your choices actually align with your health and nutrition needs. So the first thing that actually influences your dietary choices is availability. For a food to actually be able to influence your health and nutrition status, it has to be available enough for you to consume it repeatedly over time. So a food that you have available only once a year, maybe when you travel to a certain location, or when you come back, if you're not living in the country, maybe you come and access our dietary foods, our Kenyan foods, then that food will not be part of assessment, because for something to actually influence your nutrition and health status, it has to be available for you to consume it repeatedly. The second thing is definitely affordability, because if you cannot afford it, you cannot access it. When you're talking about affordability, you're talking about the things that, or the foods that your household or your home can actually afford every other day. Of course, I understand the use of food to reward ourselves for a goal reached, for a week well done, a month, or even a year. And you can tend up to use expensive foods that normally you will not be able to access on a daily. That dinner that you have once a month or even once a year, when you are doing your nutrition assessment, it might not be actually be factored in as a factor or as a thing that will actually influence your dietary intake. Of course, if it's taken every other day, then definitely a contributor to your nutrition and health status. The next thing that actually influences your dietary choices or dietary intake is the time, the skill, and the equipment needed to prepare specific meals. Of course, if you don't have an oven and I do a meal plan for you that requires you to bake things, it might be impossible for you to actually achieve that meal plan. The second thing, if you don't have the time, like most of us are busy, like you're working like maybe 16 or 18 hours, you might not have time to prepare and cook the traditional meals that we want you to take. And this is where we come in. If you have no time or even the energy to prepare the meals that you know you need to consume, we have affordable meal preparation, shopping guides. We also do portions and such to ensure that at any given point, you and your family have access to healthy and nutritious meals at all times. The next thing that actually influences the type of foods or the type of meals that you're going to have in your household is definitely the presence or absence of disease. Because of avoiding the stigmatization or the loneliness that comes with managing a chronic disease for, say, diabetes or hypertension or even cancer, most households are actually encouraged to ensure that they prepare their family meals in line with the patient's or the specific individual's nutrition needs. So if you have a person in your household who's diabetic, struggling with blood sugar control, you might actually shy away from consumption of foods that are going to trigger blood sugar spikes, like maybe too much intake of refined and processed carbohydrates, over consumption of even the carbohydrates, the whole grains and such, and even protein. Your family meals might start leaning towards options or actually meal plans that this patient or even your mom, your dad, even if it's your sister, that they're actually taking up to avoid the loneliness that comes with disease management. The same thing applies to cancer patients. The same thing applies if you have someone with hypertension, because it is very important that you ensure that they also feel like they are part of the family to reduce that loneliness that comes with managing the disease. The last thing that I'm going to talk about that actually influences your dietary intake is your personal preference. I've actually decided to discuss it as the last point because this is where all the problem or all hell breaks loose, because I can give you the best meal plans that is affordable, that is available, that is even in line with your disease condition, but if your personal preferences does not like it, it will be very hard for you to adjust to that, because change is hard. Your body hates change, your brain hates change, because according to it, it's work and it's difficult. And just like you don't like work, your brain and your body doesn't like the extra work. So it might actually push you or pull you or repel you against achieving this change that we want you to achieve. If your personal preference is leaning towards intake of sugary foods or intake of foods that are a bit bitter, your dietary choices might be leaning towards such or selection of foods that are going to provide you with such specific tastes. So as we talk about the importance of dietary adjustments in ensuring that you take care of your nutrition and health status, it is also important that you also understand that you have a very significant role to play in ensuring that you achieve that change. In this video right here, I talked about some of the mindset shifts or some of the changes that you need to do to ensure and to also help you get into the consistent habits of healthy living. Check it out and let's meet there. So until next time, bye.